Welcome mates, I am BloodThirstyLord, but you can call me Lordy, and today we're back on Warhammer 40K DARKTIDE. And this game is amazing and you should be excited for it. The constant carnage, the gore, the wave clearing, the missions, and the difficulty, how it scales up, depending on your character level and the characters that you can choose from. There's so much fun to be had here, and we're going to talk about that within this video leading up to the full release of DARKTIDE in the rich universe of Warhammer 40k. Either way, I'm super excited, and I have this pre-ordered with the Max Edition just because I want to show my support for this game on day one of release. Make sure to click the subscribe button and also the bell notification button with all notifications on to keep up to date, and also press that join button to become a member on the channel. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. So what is Warhammer 40k DARKTIDE? It's a brutal action shooter with intensity against a ongoing horde of enemies, bloodthirsty foes. And that's really nice, no pun intended, bloodthirsty lord, bloodthirsty foes. No, that was not intended. That is what the game is. And alongside that, with this aspect of being an FPS, you do have the baseline of Vermintide. If you've ever seen the Vermintide series, essentially versing ongoing waves, ongoing hordes, clearing the missions out of one to a couple classes, and enjoying the experience in a co-op environment. PvE at its finest, to say the least. That is the exact same experience you'll get here, with the benefit of having range components more emphasized, but due to the fact that we are based on the Warhammer 40k universe and not on Vermintide universe. That's really cool. That allows us to pick some unique classes, weapons, and also say things like, for the Emperor, continuously through your gameplay when playing as a veteran sharpshooter in DARKTIDE. And it's just so much fun. There's so much fun to be had here. I played in the beta experience. We've had around 50 hours, to say the least, in beta, and that was amazing. The way you can choose your classes, the dynamics of those classes, and what they could do changes drastically from level 1 to being maxed out. And then the opportunities that it does open up, just from a single variant, is insane. Then we have new variants coming out maybe on day 1 or after. We'll talk about this as we go. But one element that I need to emphasize is the world creation of DARKTIDE in Warhammer 40k. It is so detailed and it's amazing to watch and be a part of when playing in the game, and also looking at the most recent trailer, which highlights the world of DARKTIDE in general, and it looks amazing. And it does capture the lore of Warhammer 40k DARKTIDE, as the God Emperor of Mankind is pretty much the only service that everyone is dedicated to. And then you have goosebumps in this trailer as it showcases parts of the world here and there and what's going on with the actual game itself and how it plays a bigger part. It is amazing. I'm a big fan of Space Marines. I used to play Space Marines a lot back on the PlayStation 3, and that is one of the reasons why I'm gravitating to this game, and it looks so attractive to my eyes because I was a massive fan of Space Marines 1, and I can't wait for Space Marines 2 to come out. But alongside that, DARKTIDE will fulfill that gap that I need before the next Space Marines 2 comes out, and I'll enjoy this because I love games like this. I play a lot of games in this genre, and this game does it the best. And in the trailer itself, it does bring up such crazy tension moments that would provide some goosebumps and hype overall for this game. So the marketing on this game has been done right. The game itself is great from my own beta experience, and I'll explain some of that in this video as well. And alongside that, we're going to have much more content on release and after the release, like they've done with other games in Vermintide series, as provide DLCs and post-launch content that is actually a great time to come back to it, or keep on playing throughout the whole time until that DLC comes out. So I'm very excited for how many hours I can place into this game and enjoy the experience of DARKTIDE. And I'll try my best to max out all the classes to see the full potential of each class and what they have to offer. So there will be a lot of videos highlighting gameplays and builds for DARKTIDE, so keep an eye out for that. 4 classes. We've got the Ogren, which is more the tank class that is able to control the hordes and help out the team by doing so. We have a Psyker, which was my main class in the beta, maxed it out, had a fun time utilizing the class and enjoying it, able to pretty much pop heads from a distance with these electricity abilities, and using that class to go in at a certain point, do some damage, wave control as well, control the horde, maintain them in a certain direction so it doesn't spiral out while doing a whole bunch of damage. Love the class. Psycho was a really fun class. Then we have Zealot. Zealot's the class that goes in hand with melee combat and just goes crazy through hordes. He's doing a lot of damage, healing himself, and also increases damage depending on how much HP he's lost as well. So the class is just really fun as an aggressive class in the melee category in DARKTIDE. And the final class we have is the Veteran Sharpshooter. This class is a class that plays from afar. It does have a lot of damage when it comes to range DPS, and its main point of having this class being used and be played will be very vital to late game is due to the fact of suppression. Suppression is a game mechanic in this game. Say enemies that suppress you, you are then slowed and they remain shooting at you, doing a high amount of damage at a higher difficulty. So in the higher difficulties, if this happens, you're pretty much dead, and if any of your teammates try to revive you, and when the enemies are still suppressing you, the chance of them dying is very high. This has happened many times, countless times on the high difficulties and the 5 difficulty missions, so make sure to be careful of this suppression mechanic. But it does make it fun for the veteran sharpshooter, as they are able to utilize it against the opponents and make the hordes dissipate, but also those far-range shooters go back into cover, so you're able to pretty much have some breathe room and actually have a time to actually rush in and get those kills as a team, or get a sneaky shot around corners with the veteran sharpshooter. There's many aspects here. Each class has a melee component and a range component, alongside abilities and skill trees. These skill trees or abilities are locked to one variant each right now, but I believe at full release, or the early access release of November 17th, they will have other opportunities to actually utilize other characters. If not, baseline of the game, having pretty much a variant for each class and be able to build in a certain way is crazy enough. We saw in beta and how much depth there was involved in each class. There was like multiple builds that you could go for in each class depending on the elements that you wanted to cater for in your character, in your build. It was nuts. And in that aspect, I'm expecting the same level of depth in the classes from day one, but also to go furthermore if other classes or variants are released on day one, but also follow-up DLC, updates, missions, whatever they may be added. They also update the classes for that as well, to allow us to create optimum builds depending on the difficulty we're at, alongside the gear creation as well, because the passives of certain gears can be game-breaking and can help out in those higher missions. So I do like the game. Baseline mechanics are there. The way it can get more in-depth and complex is insane, and I feel like any player that wants to invest many hours in this game will be rewarded through experience and knowledge, but also how their character is portrayed when they finally build them up to this state of being overpowered. And I feel like every game that we play these days, myself and the mates on the channel, we do enjoy these games when you feel like you're overpowered and you can just dominate in the gameplay experience, being co-op, multiplayer, whatever it may be. It's always super fun. So that goal will be achieved here. If you're interested in playing Darktide, I highly suggest so. And the best part about this game does allow you to get easily invested in the universe and enjoy what Warhammer 40K has built for so many years and decades in the history of games that they have released, and the lore overall. It's very rich and diverse, and there's so many games to choose from which provide different points of lore as well, which you can join in and just enjoy the experience of what that has to offer, learning a new snippet about the Warhammer 40K universe. And in that manner, many hours can be spent here in Darktide, which is going to be amazing as hell. Personally, I'll be playing on day one and enjoying the experience of Darktide, and you can be part of that experience as well through our live streams and also videos on the channel. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with notifications on to keep up to date with our content. But mates, tell me your opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about Darktide? Are you excited for it? Do you think this game's going to be amazing, or be the most underrated game of the year? Because I feel like it might be one of those games that just ends up being underrated and overshadowed by other games that are coming out in the month of November. So tell me your opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, mates, it's a pleasure to have you guys on the channel as we go through this, and I'll catch you mates next time. Bye. Road to 200k subscribers. Let's get it, mates.